Alrighty, so something we often teach here at Melbourne Strength Culture is how to breathe and brace correctly when you're performing bigger barbell lifts. So take your deadlifting, your big squats, heavy RDLs, even trap barring, all that sort of stuff, and how to correctly brace your abdomen and torso in an effort to create the most efficient lift possible, but most importantly, the most safe lift possible. Because longevity in the strength gain trumps absolutely everything else. You can train the house down three months in a year, but if you're sitting on the sideline for 9 months injured, it doesn't mean anything. So longevity comes first, and the way that we can improve longevity is by bracing correctly with the bigger lifts. So I'll take you to the whiteboard. I'm just going to flip this over so I can see myself. Cool. So if you take a torso, so I'll draw the torso here in blue. We have a head, some junk in the trunk. So this is looking from the front. He's a very broad man. This is Jared Kay. Everybody has a diaphragm underneath the rib cage. It sits here. It actually sits inside the rib cage, so it comes up a little bit like this. And for us at Melbourne Strength Culture, this diaphragm is one of our favourite muscles. It is extremely important to understand how to use the diaphragm correctly when breathing. If you are breathing with supplementary accessory muscles, necks, scalenes, erectors, all that sort of stuff, it brings up an entire cavalry of issues down the track. So we won't go into that, but the diaphragm is vitally important with setting pressure inside the abdomen when we lift heavy. So the way that breathing works is when we breathe in, hopefully the diaphragm will draw down, which creates a pressure difference and sucks air into our lungs. So obviously the air comes inside here where the lungs are. A lot of people, when they talk about breathing and bracing, they talk about pushing the stomach out when they're about to take a big lift. This is the right idea. However, just purely pushing the stomach out pretty much just drives us into extension. So making that big pregnant belly look is just going to push us into an extended posture, which isn't the greatest place to be, particularly when deadlifting and squatting. We need to be in a neutral spine alignment to allow force to transfer correctly from our feet all the way through our body into the barbell. So what we're actually trying to do is what we call circumferential breathing. There we go. So circumferential breathing. So all that is from our anatomy, when we breathe in with our diaphragm and the diaphragm draws down, what this does is it pushes everything that's inside our abdomen out. But not just out forwards, out in every single direction. All right, so it pushes forwards, so anterior, posterior, and laterally, and every range in between. This diaphragm is pushing the space inside our abdomen out, creating a pressure around our ab wall. So our ab wall is not just our rectus abdominis, which is our six-pack abs, but also the obliques, the internal and external obliques, all the muscles on the posterior side as well. So all our erectors, our QLs, all that sort of stuff. So what happens is when the diaphragm pulls down, is it creates this pressure, outwards pressure inside our abdomen. And what this pressure is really, really good at doing is it's really good at stabilizing the lower back. So the lumbar spine, so all these vertebrae that sit in behind our body here, because of this pressure, they become very stable and rigid and hard to move, which is what we want when we're loading our bodies up with big loads on the barbell. So this is the correct way to breathe and brace. The easiest way that you can learn this position for us to teach is the 90-90 hip position, which I've done a small video with Captain Five Trong or JP Cauchi, which I may link in the description if I know how to do that. This is my first video, so I apologize if it's not down there. I'll make sure it is down there though. So this is the correct way to breathe and brace when we're deadlifting or squatting or doing our big lifts. We need to make sure that we get a big breath of air in, and that our whole abdomen pushes out, and then we brace down on that pressure and then lift the barbell. Keep an eye on our YouTube channel. We're going to be pushing out a video every week from here on out. It's been a big goal of ours at the start of this year, 2017, so it's definitely something we're going to be working on. If you have any ideas for us on what you want us to talk about, leave them in the comments below. Leave them on our Instagram, our Facebook page, you know where to find us. Other than that, happy lifting and welcome to the culture.